It's funny when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these big Chicago shows, right? Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, all this huge franchise. But what if I told you that like way back,
Yeah.
someone had tried to do a show,
Interesting.
like basically the same idea,
Okay.
like decades before. Wild, right?
Yeah, no, I'd be curious about that.
Yeah, so that's what we're diving into today. Chicago Story. Never heard of it.
I can't say that I have, no.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. This show came and went pretty quickly,
Okay.
but what's so fascinating about it is that
Yeah.
it had all the pieces, right? It had the setting, the characters.
Mhm.
It was just, I don't know, maybe it was ahead of its time or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're digging into like, the history of the show,
Right.
why it maybe didn't work,
Right.
and just see what we can learn from it.
I like it. What's our main source?
So we're relying solely on the show's Wikipedia page for this one, which, sometimes that's all you need, right?
Absolutely.
To get a good conversation going.
Yeah. Sometimes the gaps are more interesting
Exactly.
than what's actually there.
So, Chicago Story. Let's set the scene. 1982.
Okay. 80s.
80s, yeah. Hill Street Blues, big hit,
Yeah.
gritty, cop drama.
Right.
And NBC decides to take a gamble
Mm-hmm.
with a show called Chicago Story.
Okay.
Only ran for one season, though.
One season. Okay.
13 episodes.
Okay.
Plus, they had a 2-hour pilot movie.
Oh, wow. 2-hour pilot movie?
That's
It's a
cool.
commitment?
Can you imagine? 2-hour pilot movie. Talk about investment.
These days, that's like, what, 3 episodes of a show?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Wild. And get this. Each episode, 90 minutes long.
90 minutes. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
Can you imagine in today's world,
No?
like who has time to sit through 90 minutes of a show every week?
Especially now with streaming and everything so bite-sized.
Exactly. So you're thinking, okay, Chicago Story, crime drama, Chicago.
Right.
Sounds kind of familiar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it focuses on lawyers, police officers, doctors,
Okay.
all in Chicago.
So they're not shying away from the comparisons to Hill Street Blues then?
No, not at all. But they're also kind of like pre-ER too.
Interesting.
That whole medical drama aspect.
Yeah.
They weren't afraid to show off Chicago either, like the opening credits. Basically, a tourism ad,
Oh, wow.
John Hancock Center, Merchandise Mart, Michigan Avenue, you name it.
Painting a picture there.
They even filmed at Cook County Hospital, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. So they're really leaning into the city as a character.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, it's not just about the setting.
Right.
The characters are where it's at. And trust me, you're going to recognize some of these names.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay, so on the medical side, we've got Maud Adams.
Okay.
She's playing Dr. Judith Bergstrom. And then we've got Christopher Tabori is Dr. Max Carson.
Yeah.
And they're both working at the,
Of course. Gotta have the hospital.
Cook County Hospital,
Yeah.
dealing with all the drama there.
Now, are we talking like surgery scenes and all that?
Oh, yeah, they go there. I mean, it's not like ER level,
Right.
but they definitely don't shy away from the medical stuff.
Okay, interesting. And what about the lawyers?
Oh, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so the prosecutor,
Mhm.
right? Very ambitious guy,
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Chutton, played by, get
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson.
Wow. No way. Before Coach.
Before Coach, before Parenthood. This is like
That's amazing.
early Craig T. Nelson, you know.
Talk about range.
I know, right? And then going up against him,
Yeah.
you've got Vincent Baguetta.
Yeah.
He's playing defense attorney Lou Pellegrino.
Okay. So classic adversarial relationship there.
Oh, yeah, they're always button heads. And then,
Have the drama.
right in the middle of it all,
Yeah.
you've got Molly Cheek playing Megan Powers. She's a lawyer, too.
Okay.
And let's just say things get a little complicated.
A little tangled.
Yeah, there might be a love triangle in there.
Oh, juicy. I like
That have the drama, right?
Exactly. So we've got doctors. We've got lawyers. Who's keeping the peace in this town?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, you've piqued my interest. Tell me more.
So, picture this, right? It's Chicago, 1982.
Mm-hmm.
On the streets, we've got a young
Okay.
Dennis Franz,
No way. The Law and Order guy.
the one and only. Before he was Sipovich, he was Officer Joe Gilland in Chicago Story.
Get out of here. That's incredible.
I know, right? It's like a whole different side of him.
So he's like a rookie cop in this, or?
Yeah, he's not the grizzled veteran yet.
Right.
Still finding his way, you know?
That's wild. So who else is he working with?
So I've got Richard Lawson playing Detective O.Z. Tate. And then there's Daniel Hugh Kelly as Detective Frank Wojorski.
Okay, okay.
And just to add another familiar face, John Mahoney,
Wait, John Mahoney? Like Frasier's dad?
the one and only.
Hmm.
He's got a smaller role as L.T. Roselli.
That's amazing. It's like a who's who of future TV stars.
I know, right? It makes you wonder, like, how did this show not become huge?
Right. With a cast like that, it's crazy.
And the format and the setting.
So what happened?
Well, according to our good friend Wikipedia,
Yeah.
it just never really found an audience.
Really? That's surprising.
I know, right? But it happens. Sometimes a show has all the right ingredients.
Right.
But the timing's just off.
Yeah, maybe people just weren't ready for a 90-minute show back then.
I mean, 90 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
That's a long time. Maybe people just weren't ready to give that much time every week.
Yeah, maybe. Especially back then. You know, no streaming, no DVR.
They had to be there.
Exactly. And if you missed it, tough luck.
Makes you think though, right?
Hmm.
Like what if Chicago Story had come out today? Like on a streaming service?
Oh, interesting. You think it would have done better?
I don't know, but just think about it. Those long episodes, that could be a good thing now.
True. People binge watch whole seasons now. No one's complaining about episode length.
Exactly. And with streaming services, they've got the budget, they could really make Chicago Story pop.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Like high quality production, big name stars.
That could even get like a Hans Zimmer score going.
Oh, man. Now that would be epic.
Right. It's crazy how timing is everything in TV.
It really is. Chicago Story might have just been too ahead of its time.
Too innovative for its own good, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. But hey, makes you think, right? What other hidden gems are out there?
Shows that maybe didn't get their due.
Exactly. Shows that could be huge now in a different era.
It's like a whole world of TV history just waiting to be rediscovered.
Well said. Well, folks, that's our deep dive into Chicago Story, a show with a lot of potential.
A show that reminds us that even in failure, there are valuable lessons to be learned.
Absolutely. So the next time you're flipping through your streaming service,
Yeah.
take a chance on something different. You never know. You might just discover the next Chicago Story.
Or maybe even the one before it.
That's right. Thanks for joining us.